the CP, we are running Raffle Strikes, Biting Finesse, Biting Aurora, and Master at Arms. Most our damage is direct damage. We are running Rejuvenate, Strategic Reserve. Strategic Reserve is our main source of health recovery. It's very important. I'll explain it when we get to the bear. I get more recovery CP. Rationaire is important. We are running an expensive food, so that's also very key. For our abilities, we have Force Pulse, that's our single target damage. Pulsar is our AoE. Betting Niche is our source of major sorcery, and this is our crit bonus. Eternal Guardian, this gives us our health recovery. Don't ever actually use the skill. We have to front bar and back bar it. This is our crit damage boost. Alley Drain is our major breach. This is our heal over time. Our main source of burst is Deep Fissure, and Wall of Elements is for our Maelstrom staff. We are a high elf. We are using the Thief and Clock Citrus Fillet. Can't use Citrus Fillet, you could use the Jester's Coin or any tri-stat recovery food. And here's a Skyreach run. Enjoy. So I would like to wrap up this video by briefly going over the skills, when to use them, and exactly what they do. The main priorities is beetles and wall. You put those down together at the same time. So you throw out the wall, you're going to throw out the beetles. If you have time or you're about to take a lot of damage, you can throw on vines. It's optional. Use it situationally. You do have enough sustain to use it whenever you need. Your sustain should be more than enough. We're sitting at about 2,300 magic and 3k health, so you should be fine without the heals. But if you need the heals or you think you're going to take a lot of damage, go ahead, throw on vines. But anytime you throw down the blockade, you throw out a beetle. Their timers line up almost perfect. The wall's 10 seconds and the beetles is 9. But the debuff from beetles is 10 seconds. So when you cast one, cast the other. Channel Accelerate is a 1 minute timer, but it does have a cast time. So use it when you're safe. It's not worth, missing a mechanic or a block for. But if you have some downtime, go ahead, throw that on. It will give you decent crit chance. We're on our front bar, which is our main bar. We're going to want to spend most of the time on our front bar with Force Pulse and Pulsar. That's where our Frostbite staff is. So we want to have the most uptime on this bar as possible. You really only want to go to your back bar if your wall's down and you got to recast beetles. And the second you get those off, go ahead, flip right back to the front bar and just Force Pulse away if it's single target. And if there's many of them, go ahead and use Pulsar. That's our AoE skill. You don't really got to touch the Bird of Prey. It's mainly just there for the passive 5%. It's free damage just for sitting there. Betty Niche. The sustain is nice, but we're not really needing it. We're mainly using it for our source of major sorcery. Also, by having it on our front bar, we're gaining crit damage. We get 12% from here and another 10% there. I think we're up to 97% total crit modifier. I don't have one built up, but yeah, I think it was 97 was on our last parse. Next up, you should be light attacking in between every single skill. Then we could get this extra heal going. It does help over a long haul. The 13 doesn't look like much, but it can crit, and it can give you close to 3 grand just for light attacking. So definitely worth getting in your light attacks. But if you don't activate the skill, it's not the end of the world. Just for having it slotted, we get the crit bonus, and that's the main reason it's on there. But you don't really ever have to touch that, ever. Betting that's just probably only buff that you actually actively have to reapply. And 25-second timer. If you don't see a jellyfish next to you, tap the button. I did mention earlier Eternal Guardian. This CP is incredible. Gain 30 health recovery every 10 seconds. Or gain 30 health recovery for every 10 ultimate you have. If we don't use our bear, he still does great damage, and we can keep our ulti at 500. That's just it. As you see, it's a lot of health recovery. Even with the potion, we're up to 3 grand. That's outrageous. That's great. But yeah, for trash fights, make sure you throw it on the wall. Beetles, go ahead, flip bars, and post them. That's how you take care of groups. Single target, instead of doing pulsar, you just flip bars and grab. Single target. Yeah, that's the build.